Hello and welcome to Parents Guide to Games. My name is Stefan, and if you could please subscribe, here are the games coming up April 27th, 2021.
The first game on our list is Death and Request. This is coming on Nintendo Switch. The rating is mature. The content descriptions: blood, strong language, suggestive themes, and violence. This is an action role-playing game in which players assume the role of a programmer involved in mystery surrounding a fictional VR game. As players explore the VR world, they engage in turn-based combat using swords, magic spells to battle fantasy creatures. Combat is accompanied by impact sounds and cries of pain. Cutscenes and still sequences depict additional acts of violence and or blood, a close image of a bloody character nailed into a beam, a bloody character repeatedly stabbed, a character decapitated. Game text includes graphic details of violence, including descriptions of stabbings and torture. Some female characters wear revealing outfits, and their breasts occasionally jiggle as they move. During some battles, clothing transformations depict characters with partially exposed breasts and or pelvic areas. Swear words are heard in the game. Next up is Genshin Impact. This is coming on PlayStation 5. The rating is teen. The content descriptions: alcoholic references, and fantasy violence. This is a role-playing game in which players assume the role of a character searching for a lost sibling in a fantasy world. From a third-person perspective, players explore an open-world environment, interact with characters, complete missions, and battle fantasy creatures. Players use swords and range attack to fight enemies in frantic melee-style combat. Combat is highlighted by frequent impact sounds, light effects, and explosions. In some scenes, characters discuss alcoholic beverages, including brief references to underage drinking. Now let's take a closer look at Total War Rome Remastered. This is coming out on PC. The rating is teen. The content descriptions: alcoholic references, blood and gore, mild language, mild sexual themes, and violence. This is a real-time strategy game in which players battle rival factions to conquer ancient Rome. Players use diplomatic, economic, and military tactics for supremacy and can engage in combat by arranging units around battlefields. From distance or zoomed-in views, players command units' movements and actions through combat. Battles are highlighted by shouts and cries and sword clashing sounds. Bodies of soldiers and animals remain on the battlefield after defeat. A head hurler's unit depicts severed human heads hanging from the character's belts. Bangers sometimes depict small splatters of blood, and dialogue and game text occasionally references sexual material. Wine can be used as a tradable resource, and some character descriptions contain notes on drinking habits. Swear words appear in the dialogue. Also new this week is new Pokémon Snap. This is coming on Nintendo Switch. The rating is everyone. This is a simulation game in which players assume the role of a researcher capturing photos of Pokemon in their natural habitat. Players traverse regions in vehicles and take photos of Pokemon to earn points. Now let's take a look at Returnal. This is coming on PlayStation 5. The rating is teen. The content descriptions: blood, mild language, and violence. This is a third-person shooter in which players assume the role of an astronaut reliving the same day after crash landing on an alien planet. As players traverse the alien landscape, they battle native creatures and mechanical menaces. Players use fantasy pistols, machine guns, and rocket launchers against enemies. Combat is frantic, realistic gunfire, explosions, and cries of pain. Some alien creatures emit splashes of blood when shot and killed. One sequence depicts blood stains appearing on an altar that players interact with. Swear words appear in the dialogue. And the last game on today's list is Terminator Resistance Enhanced. This is coming out PlayStation 5. The rating is mature. The content descriptions: blood, sexual content, strong language, and violence. This is a first-person shooter in which players assume the role of Private Jacob Rivers as he battles Skyland in a post-apocalyptic future. Players complete military missions using a variety of weapons to kill and destroy Terminators, robotic drones, and enemy war machines. In one game mode, players assume the role of an infiltrator Terminator shooting and killing human resistance fighters. Battles are frantic with realistic gunfire and large explosions. A handful of sequences depict large blood-stained environments and or corpses lying on large pools of blood. Cutscenes depict additional acts of violence: a man executed by gunshot to the head, a Terminator holding and shooting a man at close range. Two sequences depict characters engaging in sexual activity from the first-person perspective. Moaning and heavy breathing sounds can be heard. As the camera focuses on the character's facial expressions, swear words are heard in the game.
Thank you to bensound.com for the music track. Please follow Parents Guide to Games on YouTube at Parents Guide to Games, on Facebook at Parents Guide to Games,
on Twitter at parentsg2g, and email any questions or concerns at parentsg2g@gmail.com. And always, please subscribe, and thanks for watching.